Do I have everybody's attention now?
This is it, Josh! This is it!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a special edition of WrestlePoint. We are taking a 24-hour break from our normal goings-on of reviewing the week's wrestling shows, and today we are going to be giving our opinions, our reviews of the recent WWE draft. So this is a different type of video than we normally do, but we've been promising you guys new content, and now we're going to make good on it. So the way we're going to start this off is the first, the obvious question you have to ask first: which brand won the draft? Obviously, I doubt any of us are going to say NXT. They were involved in the draft, but they did not draft anybody. For me, there is it's obvious. Raw drafted Veer. How can you not win the draft?
Oh my god!
I'm kidding. My SmackDown definitely won the draft. Looking at not necessarily who. First of all, they kept the bloodline. That automatically, if you have the bloodline, you're probably going to be the better show. But in addition to that, in my opinion, so I think we will share the same opinion that they have the better world champion when it's Roman versus Big E. Roman's definitely the better world champion. In my opinion, they got the better women's champion. I like Charlotte more than Becky. You guys might disagree, but in my opinion, they got the better women's champion. And they got the better tag champions.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, I know that's subjective, but in my opinion, they got the better women's champion. I think they got the better tag champions in the Usos. I think they got with Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins, those big upper middle card switches. It's going to be interesting. You could go either way with it, but overall, I think SmackDown definitely won this draft.
I'll go next. I agree with you, but I don't think it's just that far of a reach. I feel like they're more balanced now. The rosters, Raw getting somebody like Becky Lynch is big. You can say what you want about Becky Lynch, but I love her character that she's been doing. They got the Dirty Dogs. They got Kevin Owens. You can say whatever you want about Kevin Owens, but he's a good worker. Rey Mysterio will always get a pop. They got Finn Balor. That was a big acquisition for them. And other than that, they kept some of the main players. They kept Big E. They kept AJ and Almas. They kept Bobby Lashley. They kept R-Truth. Still big stuff.
So it's surprising because I have Raw have the better draft.
Oh.
So when we got these topics, I was not in my head. I'm like, who has the better roster now? I said who improved more going after the draft, and I think Raw definitely improved more. They got two legitimate stars in the women's
Veer and who else?
In the women's division. In the women's division, they got two legitimate stars in Bianca and Becky, even though they are in a few. Which
they still have Alexa.
They have Alexa. They have Liv Morgan now. I like that they Finn Balor and Seth Rollins are huge for Raw and the wrestling sense because think about this triple threat match: AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. I'll give you all my money right now to see that match. I think they have better. I do agree with Eric that SmackDown obviously has the better world champion. They have the better tag team champions. They do not have the better mid card champion.
Agreed.
And I think it's a toss up between the better women's champion. I think Charlotte isn't as credible as she once was. She loses a lot more matches than Becky does. So if we're talking about credibility sense, Becky hasn't lost a championship match in almost over 2 years. So, yeah. So that's I think that might change on Crown Jewel, but that's what I was looking.
I'm surprised you guys even have the debate of if Charlotte's a better world champion, women's champion. I feel like that's just given that Becky's better, but that's just
that can be another.
That's a very up and down debate.
That can be another discussion for the day. I do. If I was basing my decision off of Cody's logic of who got better, then I think I would agree that Raw improved more than SmackDown, but I was doing it more which show am I more likely to be interested in it, because I also think that Raw, they did get a lot of good people, but I feel like their roster is very top-loaded. Like, they do have a lot of stars, but it seems like they're kind of mid-card in the tag team division. Definitely took hits, even though they did get the Alpha Academy. It's like, who really cares about the Alpha Academy?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sorry to interrupt, but question: what does the Raw's mid-card scene look like? Like, does somebody like Seth Rollins and Edge have to move down to?
I have no idea. That's
well, Edge is part-time, so like even though Edge got drafted to Raw, I don't really consider him just because I feel like after Crown Jewel he's not going to be there for a while.
But who would? But then I'm just looking at the roster. I'm like, Kevin Owens, I guess. Would they really have fit? Kevin Owens,
you get fresh matchups for Damian Priest because I don't think Damian Priest is losing the championship anytime soon.
Yeah,
so
I
know. I'm not saying that he'll lose it. I'm saying who he'll feud with.
I mean, anybody.
Yeah. Austin Theory, maybe
Austin Theory. Yeah, you could put him.
I'm just talking about the overall.
I also do think that the SmackDown tag team division got a little bit weaker.
They got they still have the Usos. They got the New Day. They got Carrillo and Garza. Who else did they get? They got Jinder Mahal and Shanky.
They got Hit Row too, but I'm not.
Mansoor and Ali.
Yeah, but those people they were jobbing on Raw. They were jobbing on Raw.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, they didn't necessarily gain didn't necessarily gain credible teams, but how many credible tag teams are there in WWE these days? I think what they got it.
What? What's on?
Hey, what do you mean no credible teams? Oh my god!
I just don't think the New Day is going to be.
I didn't mean every team they got was not credible. What I mean is like they didn't.
So I look at it as that.
I think the big thing they got is they got more teams that will like have great matches with the Usos if they feud.
Yeah.
I look at it as like right now I can't buy anybody beating the Usos. I could legitimately buy Team Alpha beating the Alpha Academy beating RK Bro.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at the heel teams. You're looking at the heel teams because they're both the RK Bros face, so the heels obviously are probably beating them. And then you're looking at a face team, which other than the New Day, I don't see anybody beating them currently, at least.
Yeah.
Almas against Otis. I think that will be fun.
Yes.
Yeah. So shall we move on to our next little segment?
Yeah.
So the next segment we each picked 3 people. I ranked them 1 to 3. I don't know if you guys did the same, but 3 people.
I did 3. Yeah, I did 1, 2, 3.
Our three best brand switched people. So do we want to do this the same way we did our top 10, where I say 3, then Cody, then Dom, and then comes back around?
Well, yeah. But Dom's making his list, so Derek will go his 3rd. I'll go my 3rd, and Dom will go his.
So when I was making my list, not that I don't think my picks are good, but I was thinking there's a very legitimate chance that Cody and I have picked the exact same 3 people. I'm pretty sure I'm almost 100% sure you have this person. Maybe not number 3, but Shayna Baszler is my number 3. I just think, she's getting a new big heel character. She's been taking out a bunch of people that no one wants to see. And I think it's not necessarily that she needed to switch brands. I think she needed to get away from the people that she's currently with, because she's been with people nobody wants to watch. They just kind of teased, like she just had a confrontation with Doudrop. I don't want to see that. I think the SmackDown women's division, they still have Charlotte. They have Sasha. They also got Xia Li. They've got talent. They've got talent for her to work with. So I think it's just a better situation for her to be in, where they'll actually, because also the Raw women's division is going to be very centered around Bianca and Becky, to where there's not going to be much opportunity for her if she would have stayed.
I don't have much to say because Shayna Baszler is my number 3.
Thought so.
Right when you said it, I was like, God damn it. But yeah,
I hope we don't just go 3-2-1 the exact same.
I agree with your point that I feel like Shayna is going to be used much more seriously on SmackDown, because like I would love to see a Xia Li versus Shayna Baszler match. I would love to see a Sasha versus Shayna, because I don't think we've ever seen that. We've seen Charlotte versus Shayna, I'm pretty sure, right? We have?
Yes. We haven't seen it in like a serious, where Shayna's like a serious competitor. It was like when she was with Nia Jax and Charlotte was doing that weird stuff with them.
So I'm excited to see her actually. I love the squashes, to get me wrong, but at a certain point, it's like I'm kind of over the squashes. And I'm ready for her to be taken in a serious role, so I'm excited for that. So she is my number 3 as well. So Dom, I know we didn't give you much time, but
all right. I think I have it. Yeah, I have it. Mine's gonna be a bit different, which is okay. For number 3, I have the Alpha Academy. Okay. I think them switching over to Raw gives them a chance to at least have a time for feud. Like again, I said earlier, I think they would fight right in against would be a good match. I feel like Riddle and Chad Gable just going at it for that would be 15 minutes. Oh, that excites me. So I think that's a good thing for Raw. It enhances its tag division because the tag division for pre-draft for SmackDown was so strong that sometimes it felt like Alpha Academy got lost in the shuffle.
The only thing that bums me out about them switching brands is we never got the match against the Usos, which I think would have been awesome.
I still don't think we're going to see that, to be honest.
I mean, it's a long way till Survivor Series if they somehow beat RK before Survivor Series.
Eventually, I think.
And I guess we also still have a couple weeks until they're officially on Raw. So.
Exactly. So I'll do number 2.
Yeah, I do number 2, then Eric and me, and then I'll go 1.
A little weird one. You guys are like, what the hell? For me, it's Jeff Hardy.
I knew he was going to put Jeff Hardy in here.
Okay.
I like that. I do like that.
I just knew he was going to put one of his favorites in here.
So Jeff Hardy is getting a lot of buzz, and him coming back to the brand that really awesome. I think he adds something good to the mid-card division. The mid-card division is a little bit bare. I think in general, guys, same with Sheamus. They come in the mid-card. I don't know if I want to see Sheamus and Hardy again because there was just a feud, but I think he adds the contendership to the mid-card title. If you want to be a big baby face to the fans, WWE puts that title on him for at least a little bit. It did last year. And he can't really flourish it off it. When he had the title, it wasn't a pandemic. They need to see do it in front of fans. His homegrown SmackDown brand. I think this is great. We know he can still go. I don't care what you say. He can still go. He looks good for 40, whatever he is.
I don't think any of us have ever said he can't wrestle.
Okay, maybe I just put it in my head.
I think
Jeff Hardy for number 2, I think. That's a good one.
Yeah, I was thinking about putting Jeff Hardy because I can't believe I forgot to mention this when we were reviewing whatever draft episode was when he got drafted. But
he's SmackDown. I'm pretty sure he got drafted.
Are you guys familiar with his alter ego he used in TNA back in 2014? Willow? Are you guys familiar with that?
Unfortunately.
Yes.
So he in his promo when they asked, how do you feel about being drafted?
Oh, that was on Raw. Yeah, that was on Raw.
Yeah, during his promo when they asked, he said, "I'm glad to be on SmackDown. Maybe gives me an opportunity to show everyone a different side of Jeff Hardy." I think that might have been a subtle tease to Willow because Jeff Hardy's been saying for over a year that he really wants to give Willow another chance. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, if Jeff Hardy busts out Willow on SmackDown, I'm going to be a huge hypocrite with everything I've ever said about stupid gimmicks because Willow is kind of a very stupid gimmick. But
I don't like the gimmick.
I love it. So I'm gonna be a huge hypocrite with every bad gimmick I've ever shit on. I'm gonna love Willow.
All right, who's number 2 for you? Is that Jeff Hardy? Yeah.
It's not Jeff Hardy. He's not on my list. My number 2 is Finn Balor. For a similar reason to who my number 1 is, and it's that. So Finn Balor, because of the way he reinvented himself on NXT, because of how hot he was, he needs to be more of an upper mid-carder to main eventer than he was the last time he was on the main roster. And when he's on SmackDown with the Bloodline, I felt his ceiling was just really capped as far as how high up the card he could go. I think the reason I think he's a good brand switch because on Raw, I think he's just going to have more of an opportunity to flourish and move up the card than he would if he had to contend with Roman Reigns to be a main eventer.
I get that. I see that.
Okay, so my number 2 is This is going to be surprising. I don't imagine any of you having him on your list at all. But it's Ricochet.
Yeah, that's your Dom Jeff Hardy pick.
So like I want so bad Ricochet to be like a guy that like gets not a main event but gets a pay-per-view match. He gets a mid-card title feud. Like I just want it. Like he's so good. I know his promos are trash, but he's so good in the ring that it's like I just want to see good wrestling, and I feel like this just opens him up for so much. Because, gonna be honest, the 24/7 stuff is usually only on Raw, right? Mm-hmm. We don't see as much of it on SmackDown. But
do we ever see it on SmackDown?
We do. I remember a couple weeks ago.
I have a hot take, by the way.
If you want to do it before,
I'll go ahead and do it real quick.
Yeah, do it real quick.
Ricochet is, he's this like decades Evan Bourne.
I guess so.
Ish, kind of.
I mean, Evan Bourne is not important enough to like make a hot take over it.
I think,
I'm just excited for him to. I'm just excited for him to get a new chance. This is probably going to be his last chance of making something of himself in this company. So I'm excited to see if he actually can do it. So, should I move the one? Because Eric already had this person on his list. It's Finn Balor. I'm very excited for Finn Balor to be on Raw because I feel like with the bloodline, there's no chance Finn Balor ever get any like real momentum with the bloodline because at the end of the day he's gonna lose. Like there's so many people like I would consider Finn Balor a top 4-3 main event star in Raw right now with their roster.
Yeah.
I can see Finn Balor fighting for the title. I don't think it'll happen for a while because of just what happened with Roman, but I can see Finn going on a little hot streak. I can see Finn opening himself up and getting more TV time, which I'm all for because he's a star if he gets the chance. So I'm very excited to see. I feel like we're going to see more of an NXT Finn Balor on Raw than we would have on SmackDown. So that's why he's my number one.
All right.
I did have 2 honorable mentions, though.
You can mention them now.
I'm not going to say anything about it, but it was Bianca and Sheamus.
Sheamus, yeah, that's a good one.
Dom, do you want to do your number one first, or should I?
Yeah, because mine is probably going to be more.
So you want me to go first?
No. I'll go ahead and get out the way.
Okay.
So my number one is the New Day going to SmackDown.
Of course it is.
Listen, Cody, listen, hear me out. This is the reason I say it, and you guys might not like it, but this is the truth, and this is the eyes of the WWE. Stop pouting.
Your audio, you lagged as soon as you said, "Here's my reasoning," and I thought that was very perfect.
Oh my god! Okay, this is the thing about it, and we talked about this.
The internet doesn't want him to say it.
Yeah, he's lagging so much when he's talking about it.
Hey, listen. Hello.
Yeah.
We talked about this SmackDown division, tag team division.
You lag every time you start talking about it.
We're not fucking with you. Literally every time you're about to say it, you start lagging.
Yeah.
I think Dom. Okay, Dom's pick is the New Day. All right, Eric, go.
Wait. Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay, let's see how long this will go. We talked about it with the SmackDown Tag Team division, right? And
yes, we did.
No credible contender for the New Day is that when you think of tag team matches on SmackDown in the last decade, you think of Usos New Day. I feel like they're gonna rekindle that light. It's gonna be tag team matches every pay-per-view. I'm ready to watch it. I think it's a great acquisition. And the tag team was mainly with Xavier and Kofi. So I'm really excited to see it. I think that's great for the tag team division. I think it gives us a big up for SmackDown.
I agree. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, but with the King of the Ring tournament coming up and how much Xavier was his vibe to be in that, I'm not sure you're going to get that for a little while at least.
But it's still gonna happen.
But I'm on a petition to not call them the New Day because it's not all 3 members.
Okay, whatever you want to call them, you know what I mean.
I mean, they were called the Shield when it was Rollins and Ambrose. It would just be Rollins and Ambrose. Just saying.
I don't know. I don't make up the rules. I'm just going.
All right, let's go number 1.
Yes, my number 1. I am surprised, Cody, that this guy was not in your top 3. My number 1, and it wasn't even close. Immediately when I pitched this idea, my number 1 was Seth Rollins. Because
he was in mine, but I didn't want to get shit on for being favorite.
Because look, I've been bitching about how bad his last 2 segments were on this last Raw and this last SmackDown. I've said how much I hated his segments, but that doesn't detract from the fact that when he was on SmackDown, or just in general, he is probably he's a top 10 for sure, maybe even top 5 just wrestler in the world right now. He needs to be in a prominent spot, and it's the same thing I said with Finn Balor. He always felt with Roman Reigns, the bloodline being as hot and as great as they are, Seth always felt very much like a backseat to Roman, and I think that's just, given how talented he is, that's just wrong. And and obviously Raw has a babyface champion, Seth's a heel. I think he just immediately slots in, just get on the elevator straight to a title match. I think he by far benefits the most than anybody from the brand. Because when was the last time Seth even had a title match? It's been a long time since he had a title match, and I don't know if he was really getting one anytime soon with Roman, let alone one that you could believe that he'd win. But now he's immediately a contender.
Yeah,
fair enough. I just didn't want to get killed for favoritism if I pick Seth Rollins 1. So the master of the drip.
Oh no, you said who your honorable mentions were. You already said who your honorable mentions were, so we can move on from that. Does anyone else have anything to say about this segment?
I think all our top 3s were different, but they were all pretty good.
Shayna Baszler, no, it wasn't.
Shayna Baszler and Finn Balor, obviously, but that obviously just proves me and Eric are tuned in while Dom's in his own bizarro world.
To my credit, I had to come up with it.
True.
I mean, I didn't have a top 3.
Okay.
Yeah, so the next thing we're gonna do kind of in the same breath, we're doing the top 3 people that did not switch brands that we wish switched brands. So I'll start off again because I think mine. I think me and Cody might have one similar person on this, but my number 3 and my number 2 I think are going to be very shocking. My first one is Karrion Kross because I honestly think that the world just needs to forget what he's been for the last month, and it's one thing to repackage him that helps, but if he were to move brands, I think it would be easier to just repackage him and have us forget the nonsense he's been doing with the soap opera shit for the last month. I think he's completely start.
I just realized I kind of look like Karrion Kross with my haircut. When you see Karrion Kross, I'm like, I kind of look like him.
Is Cody going next?
I'll go next if you want.
Go ahead.
Number 3 is Dom's favorite. One of the favorite wrestlers is Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai should have easily been drafted. She should have been called up. She hasn't done anything since she lost to Raquel Gonzalez. I don't know what the point of she definitely could have been used on Raw, especially to bolster that women's division, have a good upper tier, not main event championship caliber yet, but upper tier wrestler. So I think they missed the bullet with her.
I didn't even think of NXT. Fuck.
Oh, I have a lot of NXT names I could pull up. Yeah.
Well, get to my 3. I want to mention to LA Knight, and John Morrison. My number 3 is AJ and Almas. I think they on SmackDown would be phenomenal. No pun intended. AJ.
It was intended.
AJ Styles. SmackDown's the house that AJ Styles built. I love that. I feel like AJ could have so many little SmackDown little feuds. You can have I think what's my call it? I would like to see Roman beat Almas, some stuff like that. I just feel like they would fit better with their tag division than the Raw one. So that's why I said that.
I'll tell you, it'll never happen. Because AJ Styles despises Paul Heyman. So, you've never heard that?
Why should
because they released the Good Brothers, and he thought it was Paul Heyman's call, so he does not like him.
How do you dare release the Good Brothers?
I know, they're literally the worst.
Nerds. All right, let's continue. Number 2, I have Keith Bearcat Lee, mainly because I wanted to see him in the upper mid card of SmackDown and like have that phenomenal match that there had been the teased before with Roman and Keith, and that was 2019.
I mean, Dom, so I get your thing, but like, if you want that, you're asking for Keith to be buried because he's not winning that match.
Well, no one's gonna win against fucking Roman. Well, okay,
just got repackaged. I think it's good that he's staying on Raw. If I'm being honest, I think
somebody has to beat him. Why can't it not be Keith? And like,
it's not gonna be Keith Lee that beats Roman Reigns for the title.
It's credible enough. It would be believable, in my opinion, if they give him.
He squashed one person. How was he credible?
I know.
You know what? Like NXT Keith Lee, they can rebuild him to that status.
They just repackaged him entirely from that NXT,
and that's why I'm saying if they build it right, I would be believing it. Because
maybe next year, I would say next year. We'll see.
That's why I said like in 6 months. But I feel like he would be a better fit in the division because the Raw division, the upper mid, which I see him as is too filled. You have Seth Rollins, you have Edge, you still have people like Karrion Kross, who I'm guessing they're gonna make a upper mid card guy. There's still Kevin Owens. You still have Bobby Lashley. You still have Orton and Riddle. Like this, Damian Priest. How you guys feel about it? I feel like it's too big, like packed. Because there's a couple guys who I'm like, okay, these are mid carders, and then there's like a bunch of upper mid carders in there. And I feel like that's the problem with Raw right now.
Fair enough. All right, Eric, number 2.
My number 2 is Alexa Bliss, because I think she needed to follow Charlotte, because it's like if Charlotte stayed on Raw, then Alexa Bliss would not be on my list. But because Charlotte went to SmackDown, I think Alexa needed to follow her because that feud should not be over. Even though Alexa's taking time off right now, when she gets healthy or whatever, when she's done with whatever is going on with her that she needs to be off TV for, that feud can't be over because now it's just like it makes Alexa Bliss look less significant because she just had a one-off match that she lost clean in the middle of the ring with no rebuttal whatsoever. I mean, I'm sure I hope they find a way. I don't know if they will to give Alexa another chance. This is me. I hate Alexa Bliss's current gimmick. I can't stand it. But because she sells merch, because she does move the needle and is over, I think having her lose flat in the middle of the ring and then not even get a rebuttal out of it, they just separate the two. Like, I don't know what that. That's just very questionable booking to me. And I just don't think. I think Alexa's staying on Raw. It puts her in a very weird place booking wise.
I agree. All right, my number 2 is the last pick of the draft this year, Sami Zayn. I think Sami Zayn should have moved. I feel like he needs a fresh start. And I would even consider him. If NXT didn't switch to NXT 2.0, I feel like Sami Zayn would have been a perfect choice to go back to NXT and just dominate in NXT. But I know the thing is you move every time you move Kevin Owens, you move Sami Zayn, which is I guess. But at the same time, I would have loved to see Sami Zayn fresh start, new opponents that he could wrestle. I was just hoping for Sami Zayn, but I'm open to seeing where they go with him because he has been on TV lately a lot. So hopefully we keep it that way.
Whose turn is it now?
I can go one.
Oh,
my one is I know probably nobody has him on his list because he's so out there. Not out there, but it's so weird for him to think to get drafted. But number 1, former NXT UK World Champion. I know his name is Walter, but I'm calling him Walter. I don't care.
I like that. I love that.
Walter should have been drafted. I know it's it's probably not even WWE's fault. Like, I know he has a tough time adjusting to be like, I do want to be in the United States. I don't want to go to the United States. So it's all really Dom, you're muted. So whatever you're saying, I can't hear you. You're muted.
It's a big adjustment coming from somebody from Europe to America.
Yeah,
so
but he also has said on numerous times that he doesn't want to.
I don't blame him.
So
I don't blame him.
So yeah, but at the same time, think about the fucking matches he would have.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know.
So yeah, my number one's Walter.
So was it my turn, Eric, or
yours? Whichever you want. You want to go first, or I go first?
I'll go. It's Bailey. I'm kidding. It's not Dakota Kai either. It's gonna be Bobby
Lashley.
I assume, yeah. Assuming
you lagged, but I heard Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley.
I agree.
I think Bloodline versus Hurt Business just fits automatically as a story for like.
Not anymore. Hurt Business just got fucked by a 50-year-old man. There's no appeal to that match anymore.
Let me continue. Still could have had that matchup because it fits right in. The players fit right in. Bobby versus Roman would be a pick. I would say Big Four pay-per-view main event. Pick what big. I think he would just bring a real challenge to like Roman Reigns, and we already seen teasers of it. And when Roman went over for the triple threat match, so I would have liked to see Bobby go to SmackDown.
All right, my number one. I thought there might have been a chance that Cody puts this person, but
I know who you're picking.
Who am I picking?
LA Knight.
Yeah,
Raquel Gonzalez.
I mean, I threw her out the window when she was still champion.
She is like, there's a lot of reasons for this. I mean, first of all, she's just fucking great. She's way too good for NXT. Let's be real. And NXT just rebranded. It's a brand new start meant to develop the younger talent. You don't need to develop Raquel Gonzalez anymore. So get her the hell out of there so that the younger people can actually be more showcased and flourish. Like Raquel Gonzalez, she's already established, and you can immediately because she is so good, you can immediately just throw her onto either main roster brand, and she can vie for the title just because of who she is and just what she's done. And she can have great matches with Becky, with Charlotte, with Sasha, Bianca, with all those girls. And I think it doesn't get talked about enough, but the women's division on the main roster on both brands, it's kind of just the same. The cards might shuffle based on what brand they're on, but it really is the same, like 5 women always in the title picture. I think it just needs not that it's stagnant right now, because it is exciting and there's a lot of great talent, but it needs something great and different, and that's what Raquel Gonzalez could have brought.
I would say 6 people, if I think about it really hard.
I'd say Bailey if she was healthy.
Okay.
But that's excluded.
There's a few NXT people I left off my list, like LA Knight, Raquel, who I think once she drops the title, she will be headed to the main roster. I don't think necessarily need a draft for her, but I guess they didn't want to drop it at this moment, I guess. Also think I know Johnny Gargano's contract status is up in the air, but if he ends up resigning or what the deal is, that I think he could end up there. And I think this is probably a hot take, bold prediction, but I think that the next takeover, Tommaso Ciampa is dropping the belt and he's going up.
That'd be cool.
There's no need for him. There's no need for him to be there anymore.
Yeah, and his next title match is probably going to be against
Braun
Steiner. I'm calling him Steiner. Fuck that.
Yeah, Braun Breaker. I think he's going to drop that. I think he's going to drop that.
Yeah. Steiner he's just way too good, and he's way too promising of a prospect to lose his first title match this early in NXT.
And you want the whole thing about the NXT 2.0 is to ingratiate your new talent. And like, how many NXT originals are there? It's Gargano.
Depends on what you call original.
I mean, like the ones that were there for all the great takeovers, like Ciampa,
Gargano, Roddy Strong,
Kyle Roderick Strong is having the best run of his career, in my opinion, right now. Though he is great, and Kyle O'Reilly. So like, Dakota Kai, yeah, but I thought she was going to get called up, so I'm very.
I did too.
So yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. But right now, also, I'm not sure if you guys seen this, but the Tony D'Angelo guy, that Italian. Did you see that when he went into the ring for his match, he gave the referee like $10 to bribe him?
Really? I didn't see that. I didn't notice that. I must have.
Yeah. I was going on Twitter and I seen that he handed them $5 when he entered the ring.
I like a lot of things going on at NXT. I'm enjoying it a lot more than
I do. All right, so let's go on. I don't know.
Our last segment is kind of the opposite of what we just did. It's 3 people that switched brands that we wished did not. And so there's a theme with mine that's going to be obvious eventually. But I'll start with number 3. It's Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza. And my reasoning is, it's not a bad reason. It's not because it's not because I don't want to see them. It's they were just kind of starting to be built on Raw. Like they had just kind of started having matches together. They had just kind of started slowly moving up the card. Feels very random to be switching brands right now, especially when the New Day also went over. And it just feels like they're gonna have to start completely over from square one at the bottom of the tag team card and the tag team division with the Usos, who probably aren't going to lose anytime soon, with the New Day, who is always going to be above them because there's a better team. It's more crowded. I think it set them back in their push and it capped their ceiling.
All right, so you're gonna see a theme with my at least 2 of my 3. Number 3 for me is Ridge Holland. He was out on injury for almost like a year through NXT, and he just came back recently. And he's like Pete Dunne's heavy. Like, I don't know why you call him up and you don't call Pete Dunne up. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. My number 3 is actually she pushed.
Yeah, I can't hear a thing.
My number 3 is Xia Li.
Okay.
That rhymes. I don't think she should be up. I think they have better women they could have called up from the NXT division. And yeah, that's about the reasoning. And I get into number 2. Yeah, is in the same boat as her. I don't think she's very talented in my opinion. She's just Aaliyah.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be a jobber. Don't worry.
Yeah, like you're just bringing jobbers and like. I don't like it. That's my answer.
All right, my number 2. I believe this is going to be a shock because you guys might not even be aware that she switched brands because she was announced on one of the post-show talk shows.
I hope you don't say the name I'm thinking you're going to say.
I hope you don't say the name either.
Because that's a terrible take. Go.
Shotzi Blackheart.
Okay, never mind.
I had it. Oh, shit.
I thought you were going to say Liv Morgan.
No, of course not. Of course, God, no. I wouldn't dream. But Shotzi Blackheart. Because they split her up from Tegan Knox, and I don't know. So are you guys aware? I didn't realize this until I actually saw this and read and like thought about it. There is one women's tag team on both main roster shows, a total of 1, and it's Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley. And then there's Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Knox.
And Tamina.
They got split up, didn't they?
Oh.
I think they got split up, but Tegan Knox and Shotzi Blackheart, they beat the women's tag team champions back when it was in Telling to Me. They beat them multiple times, and didn't just last week or the week before, didn't they have some sort of confrontation with Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash when they rode out on the tank or something? I feel like I very recently said, thank God they're actually giving them their title match now.
It is split. You're right. They split them up.
This made absolutely no sense because Tegan Knox and Shotzi Blackheart, I don't know if they ever lost a match as a tag team. They never got a title shot. And
Actually, I do think they lost, actually.
They might have lost once, but
I think they lost Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash.
Yeah, they split them up. And now, who are Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash supposed to face? They're just going to throw it together. It's probably like Carmella and Zelina Vega.
No, you know what's going to happen? You want to know what's going to happen? I'm telling you right now. Sasha Banks and Charlotte are going to be feuding. They're going to tag team for a match, and they're going to beat them.
Oh, that's making me sick.
I mean,
yeah. Should I go with my number 1? Or oh no, you guys have to do your number 2. Never mind.
Yeah, I know. You haven't even done your number 2 yet. I just lost. Oh, I said there was a theme. My number 2 is Hit Row. I think it's way too early. Also, I'm very. Swerve Scott won the title in July. He has not defended it, and he still has it. Like, what are you doing? And I think 3 out of the 4 people in that faction cannot wrestle. The big guy can't wrestle. B-Fab can't wrestle. The other guy that can't wrestle. Swerve Scott's the only one that can actually wrestle. So I think it is a terrible move. I think they're trying to get like more hip in Pit Row because they had that huge segment where they rapped the whole shit and stuff, which was cool for people. But like right now, I don't see it. I don't think it's good.
That was your number 2?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, did you? Oh, you already did number 2.
I already did my number 2.
All right.
Number one is Charlotte Flair.
Oh.
I don't like that Charlotte Flair moves. I feel like Becky is so much better fit on SmackDown. I see like it's not terrible that Charlotte moved, but like I don't want to. I love Sasha Banks. I don't want to see Charlotte versus Sasha Banks 1,000 times, and that feels like where we're heading because. Other than that, other than the occasional Shayna Baszler maybe from time to time down the road, but who are they? They're just gonna redo that match every single time.
And Xia Li, of course. And there's Natalia.
I would have loved a different a Charlotte versus Bianca and a Becky versus Sasha because we haven't seen. Have you ever seen Becky versus Sasha 1-on-1?
I feel like we had to have,
I'm pretty sure.
I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Yeah, so like, but you know that you've seen Becky versus Bianca. You know you've seen Charlotte versus Sasha. So like, I just don't like the continuingness of it. I also had Zelina Vega because I just can't stand that they're gonna just team up on Liv Morgan again.
Yeah, but Becky and Sasha had a feud in Hell in a Cell 2019, so it happened.
Yeah, but you still had to look it up. You didn't know from the top of your head.
It still happened in the pay-per-view.
Yeah, but we know that. We know that.
I just don't watch
All right, calm down. All right, Eric, number 1, or Dom, whoever wants to go.
I'll go ahead, Eric, because I had to pull this one out of my ass. Because my number 1 was Chauncey and Knox, because I just know I was looking through it. I was like, I noticed this.
So 2 people are your number 1. You go ahead and pick one.
Listen, and I was like, okay, what about Natalia? So I'm gonna go in a very different direction. I'm gonna say Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens didn't switch brands, did he? He stayed on Raw.
He was on SmackDown.
He was on SmackDown?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He was feuding with Happy Corbin.
I got them confused. I forgot what show they were on before.
Yeah, I think that upper to mid division on Raw is way too packed. Now we're looking at SmackDown. I have to mention Seth Hardy, Sheamus, King Nakamura, and then you have, I guess, like Rich Holland, Sammy. Like Drew needed to be there. Like I feel like it's very bare bones. Doesn't have any mid to upper level contestants or mid carders, upper to mid card guys. Kevin Owens, if you make him an upper mid card guy, I feel like it's very natural. They have done it multiple times before. I don't think they should have moved him. That's just
so. Before I say my number 1, I think I need to switch my number 2 only because I think I guess I got a couple of the people's original brands mixed up. I think Tegan Knox might have actually been the one that switched brands, not Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, so my number 2 is Tegan Knox, not Shotzi Blackheart.
Okay.
But not important. There's not much to say here because my number 1's Hit Row. Like Cody said, it's way too early. 3 out of the 4 people can't wrestle. Yeah. We haven't seen Swerve Scott wrestle in a long time. And the next thing he has to do is drop the North American Championship. So he's going to introduce himself to SmackDown with absolutely no momentum. And the other thing is, NXT 2.0, it's brand new. I really was in favor of there not being that many NXT call-ups. Only like the big like Raquel Gonzalez could have been called up. She's already a big star. We know who she is. If Ciampa didn't win the NXT title, I would have said Ciampa should be called up. She's a big star. We know who he is. No one really knows who Hit Row is. So there's just even if Isaiah Swerve Scott, the next thing he did was not lose the title, they were still coming with no momentum because we haven't really been that exposed to them. We don't know who they are. We don't really know because whether they like it or not, that WWE has to admit that the NXT audience and the main roster audience are kind of completely different people. Like they'll only know who the big stars are. I'll bet you half the people in the arena when Hit Row got announced did not know who the fuck Hit Row was. So this makes no sense.
I wouldn't say half.
These people, okay, fine, but a lot of people don't know who they are. It just and I don't really know where they're going to fit in. You know, they're a group. But they're like the BFAB can't wrestle, so she's not going to be credible in the women's division. They don't really have a tag team, so they can't really fit in the tag division. Swerve Scott's about the next match he's going to have. He's going to lose the North American Championship, and it was teased on NXT yesterday. He's probably going to lose it to Santos Escobar. Great decision, Santos Escobar. Fucking love him. But the next thing he's going to do is lose.
They've been a feud for fucking ever, though. They've been a feud forever. Yeah,
true. But like the next thing Swerve Scott's going to do is lose a title. There's just so where can he be? Where on the card can he really be put after that? It's just it makes no sense.
Yeah, I would assume that maybe Swerve is going to do a tag team with the other guy, and then the big guy's just going to be the heavy, I guess.
Yeah. So
I agree. They were on my list as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then so that was I believe we all got through all three of our people.
Yeah.
So that was that was the 2021 draft. I did so I said right before we started filming that I need to talk about one thing, and I did not know how to kind of shoehorn this in. So I said, let's talk about one thing we're just intrigued with, like the one thing we're most intrigued watching. So, and I only said this because I needed to shoehorn a spot to talk about Gable Stevenson. Because I really am like coming out of the draft, that's kind of what I am most intrigued to see is what they're going to do with him. Because they've done nothing since they signed him. They barely even talk about him. They just kind of like, oh yeah, by the way, we have Gable Stevenson. I have a bad feeling that they're going to change his name because they don't like having two people with the same name, and they've got Chad Gable, so they'll change one of their names. So I have a bad feeling they're going to do that. I want to see him in the ring because he's not a professional wrestler in the sports entertainment sense. But he just won a gold medal in wrestling. So there's a non-zero chance that he just catches on really quickly and is a star. And I really want to see what they do with him.
I don't think he's Kurt Angle. I think I'll say.
I'm not saying he's going to be Kurt Angle level like amazing, but because he's experienced.
No one's Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just thinking about like Kurt Angle is a crazy man. He went like barely any experience. He went into WWE main event. By the way, great matches, great. Like it's just weird. It's just crazy.
Yeah. I'm a little bit worried that I think that. I mean, this has to be exactly what they had in mind when they signed Gable Stevenson. Is another Kurt Angle.
Well, so his I don't know if a lot of people know this, but his brother is currently in the Performance Center. So.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that at all.
They could be doing a tag team type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't think you see Gable for a little while at least. Maybe he'll come up on Raw next week, but after that, I feel like I don't know. He seems like a guy that like probably trains a lot and like really wants to be serious about this. So I think I don't know. I don't really have a big takeaway. I guess more so. Really, like I'm just interested to see how these rosters. I think I feel like my most interesting thing is Finn Balor and what they're gonna end up doing with him. It's like, is Finn Balor just gonna be the same Finn Balor that we've seen on SmackDown, which he shows up 1 week and he's gone for 3 weeks, or like, how is he gonna combat that horrible finish to his last match he had? I'm very excited to see where it goes from here, and yeah, I'm actually genuinely excited for these rosters just because you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
There's one more thing I'm intrigued. I'll let you go first, Dom.
I was gonna say what I'm most intrigued by, and I'm not excited for men's tag team division. Now that they split up 2 out of the 3 tag teams they have, like, are they just gonna abolish it?
They shouldn't have had it in the first place.
Yeah, I read them.
I agree.
Yeah, the women's tag team division's a very failed experiment. But I did read it's not really a rumor. It's just but like it is something I could see happening. I wouldn't mind is that there could be some sort of like abolition of the women's tag team titles, and then like Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash fight for some new women's mid card title, which would be kind of interesting.
I would honestly have a mid card. Yeah, I don't even like a mid. I think they should just keep it the world championships because you don't have enough people to round up a mid card division.
Oh, you do. You do have enough.
At this point, I think you do. They're getting to the point where because outside of the women,
maybe cross brand wise, but not on one brand.
Yeah. They definitely. I definitely don't think it should be like one mid card title per show, but that is a little ridiculous. Yeah. But they are at the point where just if you combine the two women's divisions, they definitely have enough talent to support.
Yeah, I can see that more. And then I need to make up some good, make some NXT call-ups maybe.
Yeah. So the one other thing I'm very interested in is how long is it going to be until Veer's fighting for the title? Because let me tell you,
honestly, I think Biggie might host a challenge next week.
You guys laugh. But they separated them for a reason.
How about this, Eric? Eric, if you're willing to make a bet right now.
I'm not saying world championship.
No.
World championship.
This is an easy bet. So how about this? If Veer is not on TV for the next 3 weeks, you have to give away a point in your prediction.
Not in the 3 weeks that the official.
Starting October 22nd or whatever the first Raw, the first Raw of
4 weeks.
I'll do 4 weeks.
All right. If I'm wrong, I'll take away a point from the predictions.
All right.
Okay.
Wait. Do I get a point if I'm right?
No.
Damn.
Then why'd you?
All right, with the deal. Sorry.
I know. No, that wasn't going to be a deal breaker. That wasn't going to be a deal breaker. I was just.
You're very confident on Veer, so I just.
They separated them for a reason.
I guess. All right, so before we wrap up the show tonight, AEW's tonight. What was it called? The anniversary show, whatever. There is so I was thinking about doing a prediction for the Joker, but if we all have the same prediction, I think it's pointless. So, do we all have the same prediction?
Cowboy shit? Do you think we all think there's some cowboy shit at the casino ladder match?
Yeah. Because that was wrong. I was going to say Bray Wyatt.
I kind of want to make it just a different pick, just to be different. But
I'm picking Paige. I'm picking Paige.
I don't want.
Paige, now that I hear Paige, I'm like, that's it.
I'll do it if it doesn't go towards the prediction games. I know I'm going to be wrong.
I mean, who would you pick?
Bully Ray.
What? Bully Ray.
If you pick Bully Ray, I'll pick how about
this? I'll make this easier. For you guys. We can do a prediction. So Tony Khan says he has an important announcement tonight. If we can guess the announcement, we get a point. Predict the announcement.
Brand split.
That's your prediction.
Yeah.
You're locked in on a brand split. All right, Eric. I have two things in my head. I don't know what I'm picking right now.
I don't think it would be the announcement of like a signee, so I don't think it'd be like Bray Wyatt or anything like that. What the fuck could it be? Some sort of overseas show.
Pick Jericho Cruise, Eric.
No, some sort of overseas show. That's my guess.
Are you locked in?
Yeah.
That's a good guess.
All right, so I have two different ones.
I feel like you already know the answer.
I swear to God, I don't.
Okay.
I'm either thinking it's a trios title announcement.
Oh, damn it!
Or it's we're a woman's title, and then the second woman's title.
What title, basically?
Those are both. Damn, those are good.
No, I'm gonna be specific. So I don't like. Oh God. I want to say women, but I feel like they don't have enough women right now to do it. I'm gonna go trios title.
Yeah, that's probably the best guess of the three of ours.
What's wrong with the brand split? People know they're making a lot of signings.
I mean, yeah, but they would need more than 1 hour for a Rampage show.
I also think we would have heard rumors about that beforehand. You know, like we hear like even the biggest surprises the AEW has given us, we've heard rumors days in advance.
Yeah, I wanted to do the Joker, but there's almost like a 98% chance of that on Paige.
Yeah.
If it's Bully Ray, I'm giving myself 10 points.
If it's Jay White, I'm giving myself 4.
You didn't even pick him. All right, so I think that's all we have, right?
Yep. Adios.